Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Smith Does Games. Now, if you didn't know, the test server for PUBG Xbox was live over this weekend, and it was testing the new Miramar map, which is going to be coming to Xbox this month. The reason it was on all weekend is because it got off to a pretty rough start. So last week, it was Wednesday, I think, for the States. It was early Thursday morning for me here. The test servers went live for the first time, and it was just complete shambles. I actually stayed up that night just to try and play a couple games, just to get some capture so that I could kind of make this video. And it was just horrendous. Matchmaking was taking forever. When you did finally get into a game, there was a problem where after about 3 minutes, everybody on the server would just get network lag and be completely booted. That happened to me twice, I think, and then the servers got shut off. So to make up for that, the developers put the test servers live from the Friday all the way through to the Sunday, completely open all the time. And so that was really great for anybody in the UK because they had, it was much more sociable hours. So I was able to play a whole load of it, and I'm just going to be putting up various clips on screen, but I just kind of wanted to talk about my experience with the test server and my experience with Miramar as a map in general. So first up, I would just say that the test server actually ran really well. Matchmaking was incredibly quick, and once you got into a game, it seemed like the lobbies were shorter most of the time. I think the longest lobby I came across was maybe about 40 seconds, but mostly I was getting in and then it was like, counting down from like 15 to 20 seconds or something. This is something that I want them to change in the base game, because at the moment you wait for quite a while for everybody to connect to the lobby, and then there's 60 seconds before the plane leaves. There's just no reason, especially since they've taken the guns away, which I understand was for performance and everything, but they took the guns away, so it's not even like you can sort of practice your shooting or anything. You're just running around, usually hitting people. You got people taking their clothes off. It's honestly carnage. So just make them shorter. There was a bit of an issue in terms of matchmaking, which was more, I think, to do with the actual build of the kind of application itself, because I often found when finishing a game, I couldn't then queue up for another game. The options for your solo, duo, squad, what game mode you were trying to play, would disappear, and it would tell you that you could ready up by just pressing A, but it wouldn't do anything. And then the only solution I found to it was literally just to kill the game completely and load back in. And this was quite frustrating because I was playing with a squad quite a lot of the time, and it seemed like there was enough of a chance of this happening to someone that it happened, after almost every 1 or 2 games, one of us would have to kill the game and load back in. Quite frustrating, but it is a test server, and hopefully the slightly more stable menu system on the base game will hopefully translate once Miramar launches. But once you got into a game, everything was pretty much fine. I found the whole Play-Doh buildings that are infamous on the Xbox version of the game, I had a few more problems with in the Miramar map than I do on the standard map. Now, I'm playing on a 1X, which means that on Erangel, the Play-Doh buildings they're not too much of a problem. I get them occasionally in some of the more dense areas, but actually they're not much of a problem at all. But I was still getting those, even on the 1X on Miramar. I was still getting a few Play-Doh buildings when I dropped. There was no rubber banding, which in fairness I think is pretty much fixed on Erangel now as well. And the frame rate to me actually felt more stable. Now, it wasn't pushing past 30 FPS as far as I can tell. I don't have the best eye for this kind of stuff, but as far as I could tell, it wasn't pushing past 30 FPS, but it was definitely staying in that region of sort of maybe 26 to 27 up to 30, a lot more. There were much fewer frame rate dips. And again, on the 1X, Erangel is really not that much of a problem anymore. The game was obviously, for anyone that's played it, in a really, really rocky state when it launched. But especially on the 1X, they've made a lot of improvements, and it's a lot more playable now. But actually, the test server build has me quite looking forward to the future updates that we get, because the performance on that was much better. As for bugs, there were a couple bugs. I already mentioned, obviously, the kind of menu bug, but in the actual game as well, the most common one that I saw was the Molotov cocktail bug. If you were to throw a Molotov cocktail while playing Miramar, your character model would stay on fire. I think it did go out eventually, but it was a good 10-15 minutes. It kind of looked like it was coming from their maybe utility belt or something, and there would just be flames coming off you, which was a nightmare because obviously it basically just turned you into this beacon, just calling all other people to your position, hello, here I am, come and shoot me. So that's a pretty rough bug. Hopefully they'll get that squashed before the game, before the map properly launches. Other than that though, I didn't actually come across too many bugs. A friend of mine had somebody manage to shoot them from inside a wall, and I think they actually have got some footage of that, so I'll try and find that and put that in here. So yeah, other than that, the performance for Miramar was on par, if not better than Erangel, which was really good to see. As for the map itself, I actually really liked it. I know there's a lot of negativity around Miramar on PC. A lot of the PC players really don't like it, and obviously we haven't had enough time to really play the map kind of to death or get tired of it or whatever. And I think there was a large element of, you know, it's a new map. We've been playing the same Erangel map for 6 months now since PUBG launched on Xbox, and so just to have something just to switch it up was nice. I think it offered a nice change from Erangel, which is really what I think is important for a new map to do. There's no point bringing in a new map and splitting the player base up unless it offers a different experience, and this map certainly did. To me, it felt like there were larger cities, you know, more built up areas, but much larger expanses and much kind of deader expanses in between. Erangel, obviously, you've got lots of trees, lots of rocks and foliage and cover in the open spaces. Miramar's kind of completely different to that. You might get the odd rock here or there, but being a desert map, it is really open. And actually, I can see why some people may not enjoy that so much, but I thought it did offer something different to Erangel. It meant that when you were out in the open, if you got caught, say, without a vehicle running to the circle, you felt really exposed. The one thing I would say is that having the third person being the only option on the test server has actually made me almost appreciate how much more I like first person in PUBG. I don't like the third person perspective in PUBG very much. I don't really like shoulder peeking, and personally I think it's a game that lends itself more to first person. Obviously that is my opinion, but I can't wait to get on Miramar in first person and, you know, test it out there, because I think it does play considerably differently. So the new map also has a couple new weapons added to it. So there's the Winchester repeater rifle, which is a primary. That was fine. I thought, you know, the problem with it is the lack of attachments. That you can put bullet loops on it, but otherwise you can't use any sights or anything like that. And I think if you could put a sight on that gun, it could actually be really strong. But in the sort of medium range, it does the job. It's a perfectly fine weapon. But there is also two new sidearms, two new secondary weapons that are coming with Miramar, and both of those I really, really like. So one of them is the R45 revolver, which is, you know, like a revolver pistol, but it shoots much quicker than the revolver that we currently have on Erangel. And the other is the sawed off. Now this, I think, was my personal favourite of the three new weapons. It really does function as a pretty competent shotgun, and that's so awesome to have in your back pocket. I don't have too much footage of me using the sidearms, unfortunately. I should have a couple clips of me getting kills with each of the sidearms. Other than that, I think Miramar did kind of highlight some of the existing issues that PUBG has already, in my mind. Probably the main one being vehicles. Like, vehicles are a bit of a joke in PUBG. Everybody knows that they're kind of death traps at the best of times, but Miramar is a map that requires vehicle usage so much more than Erangel. Because of that open expanse, because of that lack of cover when you're out in the desert, you really don't want to get caught with your pants down, and it's very easy to do so on foot. So moving between the circles, if you find yourself quite far away from the next zone, getting a vehicle really was a priority. And spending that much time in vehicles does make you realize how the vehicle physics in this game are just totally wonky, and it caused my death quite a lot of times. As far as I know, we don't have word yet on when the Miramar map's actually going to launch, but they've said that it will be May, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it. I think it was a fun map, definitely nice to have something new to play. The performance, like I say, was very good. Overall, it will definitely just be nice to have something that kind of mixes up the game. I think that's going to do it for the video, so thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, and subscribe if you want to subscribe. Thanks very much, bye.